to tell you a story about Bob and Ellen. They've been dating for a while now and really enjoy their time together. One night they're driving home and a thought occurs to Ellen, and without even thinking, she says it out loud. Do you realize that as of tonight, we've been dating for exactly 6 months? Then there's silence in the car. Ellen thinks to herself, I wonder if it bothers him that I said that. Maybe he's feeling confined in our relationship. Bob is thinking, 6 months. So that means it was February when we started dating, and that's when I had the car into the dealership, and whoa, I'm way overdue for an oil change. It's amazing sometimes that men and women are even able to communicate at the most basic level. Bob and Ellen weren't even thinking about the same thing. Besides the obvious physical differences between the sexes, there are major differences in the way men and women think, feel, and communicate. Today we'll explore just what's going on inside the male and female brain. In our Battle of the Brains, we will first learn about the physical differences between the male and female brain. Then we'll see the differences in the way our brains process information. And finally, we'll look at how different male and female hormones affect our brains. In the end, will we know which brain won? Hard to say, but we will have some insight into the way our men and women's brains think and feel. While on the surface our brains all appear the same, there are several physical differences between the male and female brain. First, let's delve into the male brain. In a paper published in 2014 by Psychology Today, Dr. Gregory Jantz found that men's brains are 10% larger and contain 4% more cells. The hypothalamus, which is located on the inner brain, is considerably larger in males. This is the center for emotion and controls the molecules that make you feel happy or sad. Now let's take a closer look at the female brain. Dr. Jantz also found that women have a larger corpus callosum. This is the main transverse tract of fibers between the two cerebral hemispheres. Due to this enlargement, it's easier for women to transfer data between the hemispheres, which makes them better at communicating. The female brain also contains 11% more neurons. The frontal area of the cortex, which helps with problem solving, and the temporal area of the cortex, which is key in processing speech and vision, are more organized in women and are larger in volume. Now that we've learned about the physical differences, let's discover how male and female brains process information. First, men and women use different parts of their brain when they're actively thinking. In a 1995 article in the New York Times, Dr. Sally N. Bennett of the Yale University of Medicine showed the differences in the way male and female brains process speech patterns. 19 men and women read nonsense words to see if they rhymed. Using an MRI, they found that while men and women did equally well, they used different parts of their brain. Secondly, men and women even use different parts of their brain when they're asleep. Dr. Reuben Ger at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine conducted a study on the brain in the Brain Behavior Laboratory. Subjects were observed during sleep, when they weren't thinking of anything. The results came back mostly the same except for a major difference in the limbic system, which regulates emotion. Now that we know how male and female brains function differently, let's look at how different male and female hormones affect the brain. A third major difference affecting the male and female brains are the types and amounts of hormones our bodies naturally generate. Everyone has stress in their lives, and the male and female brain react to stress differently. Men have the fight or flight response to stress. This is caused by a higher level of the hormone testosterone, which reduces the effects of another hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin enhances calm and nurturing feelings. Unlike testosterone in men, the hormone estrogen in women enhances the effects of oxytocin. Women approach stressful situations with a tend and befriend reaction to stress. This means that during stressful situations, women tend to care for others and themselves and form strong group bonds. In an article in the Psychology Review in 2000, Dr. Shelley Taylor's research at the University of California indicated that women's tend and befriend reaction to stress was caused by higher levels of oxytocin, which caused relaxation and sedation. Now let's go back to Bob and Ellen and our Battle of the Brains. Ellen had all kinds of thoughts, processed by many neurons tapping into many parts of her brain. Her active limbic system had her overanalyzing Bob's facial expressions and silence. Bob's problem-solving brain focused on one thing at a time, which led him to the need to work on his car. What happens to Bob and Ellen, we don't know. We do know now that when it comes to our brains, there are first, many physical differences between the male and female brain. Secondly, differences in the way our brains process information. And finally, even a difference in the way hormones affect our brains. Learning about and understanding these differences may help each of us in our everyday interactions with each other, and may even help when we're trying to figure out just what that special guy or girl could possibly be thinking.